Hey y'all, it's Chrissy from Teadoddles, and today I'm going to talk about my Make 9 for the year, which I'm going to different kind of spin on it since I like to make all the things. But first, I'd like to say welcome back, subscribers. Welcome, new subscribers. I'm happy to have you here with me, my maker shenanigans. I do like to do the sewing things, the yarny things, and the DIY things. So you'll see a little bit of all that here on this channel. If you like to make things, you might like it here. All right, we're doing a mic check. Yeah, the light's on. Y'all, me and this microphone, we're still getting acquainted. I recorded a little video for Wednesday about cleaning out my sewing machine because I figured some people might need to know how to do that. And I realized when I went to edit it that I forgot to turn my microphone on, so there's no sound. I thought, well, maybe I'll try doing that voiceover thing people do. I can't do that because I don't have a microphone that connects to my computer. This one doesn't. It only connects to my phone. So I said, okay, guess there will be no video for Wednesday, which is okay because I've put up a little video and some pictures, if you've seen in my community chat, of the snow that we have here. Oh, snow. South Georgia. I live in South Georgia, where it's a rarity to see snow. The last time I saw snow here was 2018. So what is that, 7 years ago? And it was just a dusting of snow. Of course, our school will still get canceled because it's more the ice that comes with it that is a danger, you know. Okay, they were predicting, it kept changing, and they were predicting we could see up to 6 inches of snow, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I believe that. Y'all, I had 9 inches of snow in my yard. 9 inches. I am not. That is not something anybody in this area is prepared for. They got some fairly good snow all the way down into Florida on the beach. I saw people recording skiing in the snow on the beach. Oddity. But yeah, there's still snow in my front yard. It snowed later Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, early 30 Wednesday morning. But yeah, there's still patches of snow because it's been freezing every night since. So I had no school this week. We were out Monday for the holiday, and they canceled Tuesday and Wednesday because it was coming overnight. And it was so cold. I think it got down to 13. Actually, I think it got down to 13 Thursday, late Thursday, early Thursday morning, late Wednesday evening, early Thursday morning. And they wound up canceling school for Thursday. And I don't have school on Fridays. I teach at a college, and we don't have class on Fridays. And yeah, there's still, I think it got in the 40s today. Warmest day this week so far. Well, no, Monday was warmer. I want to say it was in the 50s Monday. I can't remember. I don't know. It's been very cold. Very cold. And like I said, there's still snow in my front yard. Although I've been hearing all day. I keep thinking I hear something at the door, but it's snow and ice melting and falling off my roof. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's been interesting. It was fun. I made a snow angel. It was very light, fluffy snow. I walked around it. I did all kinds of things, and then I was tired of it, to be honest, because it's so cold. It's been so cold, and I have been wanting to just hibernate. So I kind of fixed myself up today a little bit so I could do this video because I have been under the covers. I have been sleeping in a lot because I've been so tired, and the only thing I can figure is because it's so cold and my body doesn't like it. So way too cold for me. Way too cold for me for too long. But unfortunately, that usually means in this area, since we had such a cold winter, we will have probably a very hot summer, and yay for that. But you know what, I'm going to enjoy what I've got right now. And let's move on to what this video is really about. I've gone on about 5 minutes about the snow. So you will notice I'm wearing, or some of you may notice, this is one of the things on my list to finish this month is this Devon dress from Seamwork. I'm not going to show you a full thing of it. I put it on because I just finished hemming it right before this video. It's so cozy and comfy. And I plan on doing a video next month about my clothing finishes specifically for January. Which technically, I guess a few of them were finished in December. But that is my plan, to do a specific video for clothing finishes. So I can try to take some video of me somewhere where you can see the full, what it looks like, and talk more about anything I changed for the pattern. And, you know, you can see it on, you may be shaped like me. I don't know. Anyway. All right. So this video is about, Make 9, which is something that you specifically see in the sewing community. That's where I see it is, it's usually about patterns, or some people incorporate bags and quilts and things onto it, but that's mainly where you see the Make 9. I don't know where it originated from. I just have been seeing a lot of videos about it, and I thought, that's kind of an interesting concept. It's like you have 9 things on a list that you'd really like to accomplish or make before the end of the year. So, like I said, it's predominantly about clothes sewing. But I generally pick things I want to sew for the month or make, and for all the makes that I do. And I thought, well, what if I did one for a maker? Like, because I always do the sewing things, the yarny things, and the DIY things. And I thought, well, I could pick 3 things out of each of those that I hope to accomplish before the year's end. And this is going to be more about, you're going to see, it's going to be more about learning new things, improving techniques and skills, and those kind of things. So, so some of these are kind of general, and I'll talk a little bit more about each of them. But I made me a little thing to hang on my board over there, so I can look at it and remember when I pick things for. Now, I do want to finish things, and I've got the maker stash going on because I'm trying to use stash. This will remind me what I'm wanting to focus more on. So when I pick projects, I make sure it incorporates these things for the month. Okay? This is my Make 9. I'm going to hold it up in front of my face. And I'll try to remember to make that my thumbnail. Getting better at that because I can make my own thumbnails now. So under sewing things, my first one is learn more about my machines. Okay? And by that I mean my sewing machine and my serger. I know how to use them. And I know how to do some different stitches on my sewing machine. My serger has very basic knowledge about it. I want to learn how to use, adjust the stitches better, change out the thread better. Because I don't change out the thread because I cannot be bothered to change my thread to match my fabric every time I serge something because it's on the inside and nobody will see it, and I'm not doing that. But I did want to, I have 2 sergers, and I thought about having one with darker threads and one with lighter threads. I just don't really like the other serger that much. I don't have room for 2 sergers on my table at a time currently. Of course, I could probably rearrange something and get that to happen. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, but my main deal with the serger, I have an overlock foot, which is where you can, like when I did these hems, I serged it, but then I folded it under twice, and I did a special stitch on my machine that's stretchier to hold it down. But with an overlock stitch, you can serge and kind of stitch at the same time. And that's something I would like to learn how to use. I just haven't learned how to use it. I have it. I just haven't learned how to use it. And now with my sewing machine, I have about all these presser feet that attach to my sewing machine. And I did a few blog series about different presser feet and how to use them and what they were used for. But I would like to explore, there's many more that I haven't used, which require you doing certain techniques. They're for special things. But I would like to learn how to use them. And I would like to do videos about learning to use them. And then some of them I've already done the blog post on. I will do a video too, and then I can have it to go along with the blog post, that sort of thing. So that's what I mean about learning more about my machines. Give me a second of water. So that is a goal of mine this year, and that will require me to do some new projects that would actually utilize some of those presser feet and those kind of things. All right, so my second one on sewing things is focus on details. And what I mean by this is I tend to pick, I love details. Okay, that's what draws me into just about anything that I pick up. Even a bottle of soap, I'm going to be drawn to it because of the packaging and the details. Which is probably why I was a good drafter, because drafting is all about the details. But what I mean by that is in my sewing, whether I'm doing quilting or clothes or bag making, I want to focus more on those fun details I've wanted to add, but I don't always take the time to do because I just rushing through things just to get done. But I want to focus more on details when I'm making garments. Pick some garments that have fun details where I can learn something new as well. I have done a bunch of different kinds of things, but there's other things that I haven't learned to do that I'd like to learn to do. And sometimes it's about the details. So I want to take time to focus on the details in my sewing, no matter what it may be, because I think that's what brings your sewing up to another level, is adding those details that you may find on a more expensive garment in the store, but elevates it beyond looking handmade, which, I don't mind things that look handmade because I can tell somebody made it. But I love when I'm wearing something and somebody compliments me on it, and then I tell them I make it, and they're like, "Oh, I would have never guessed." I think that's fun. That's not primarily why I make things, but it's always. I get complimented on things I didn't make. I get complimented on things I didn't make as well, but it's more fun when I get complimented on things that I did make. So focusing on details, and taking the time to finish those details correctly. All right, so the last thing on my sewing list is to make underwear. This really extends to all types of lingerie, and I don't mean like, I say lingerie, but I consider lingerie like your underwear, for me, bras, slips, camisoles, maybe some like a fancy underwear. I just said underwear, fancy nightgowns, those kind of things. Swimwear, which is not technically, I guess that falls more in workout wear, which I do that already, but I haven't made a swimsuit yet. But I have fabric to make a swimsuit, so I'd like to do that. But that falls along in that kind of category for me. I have fabrics to do things with. I have some of the accessories I need to do it with. I just need to do it. I have patterns. So that's something I want to work on this year, is to make underwear. Because my ultimate goal is that my wardrobe be a majority handmade. And I started to put that as one of my goals, like 50% handmade by the end of the year. But I was like, I don't want to put that on myself. I just want to focus on this specifically, like learning how to make underwear, because that's not something I've ever done. So it's something that I'm learning. So that's going to be a theme for my Make 9, is learning. Sorry, my mouth. I haven't been talking a whole lot because I've been hibernating. Looking at everybody's snow pictures. All right, so those are my sewing things. Learn more about my machines, focus on details, make underwear. Okay, now let's move on to the yarny things. The first thing on my yarny thing list is to learn more about knitting. I have knitted. I've knitted a whole sweater, which is not typically where people start when they learn to knit. I did learn to knit some things before I knitted that sweater, but it was just so happened when I had finally picked up how to actually knit that I think it was Marley Bird had a My First Sweater knit along. I was like, I'm going to try to do this. And that's what I did. So it's not perfect. It's a little too big. I noticed where I missed stitches, of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch my microphone. I forget about that. But I do wear it still sometimes. But I want to learn more about knitting. I want to learn to knit socks. I want to knit hats. I haven't knitted in the round, which is what both of those things require you to do. I've talked several times about that shawl I've been knitting on, which me and the shawl have finally made friends. I changed my needles to bamboo needles. And bamboo needles may be better for me when it comes to knitting. Crocheting, I prefer the squishy handled aluminum hooks. I don't really like the wooden hooks. I don't like the plastic hooks. I have some of all of those. The basic aluminum hooks with no hand, hardly any handle. Those are the ones I prefer, and I feel like I can do more with that type of hook, if that makes sense. Knitting, I have an interchangeable metal set or aluminum, brushed aluminum. I have an interchangeable bamboo set. I have all these other like hayas and stuff that are tiny, they're supposed to be for socks and things like that. So I think I just need to do more of it. I enjoy it once things are going. It does take me longer, but I already know that. But it's been going a lot faster since I just made some changes into what I was using and how I was doing it. I've also noticed that when I'm knitting, like when I crochet, I like to have my arms propped up. When I'm knitting, I've been tucking my elbows beside the armchairs and knitting, and I find I can knit faster. I think it's because it makes my movement all about my hands with knitting, where with crochet, it's just a different motion. And I'm finding that I can knit longer if I do that. So that's why I want to learn more about it. I want to make more things. I know there's other stitches to do. I did do some different stitches in that shawl I've been working on. But yeah, I just want to learn more about it. And to do that, I have to do more of it, obviously. So the second thing on my yarny things list is learn Tunisian crochet, which I'm already learning and I'm loving. I've just learned the basic, what is it, TSS, Tunisian stitch. I'm not sure what the other S stands for, but part of my learning. And I'm excited about that. I'm doing a crochet along from Blackstone Designs, where we do a square each month. Well, she had different layouts, but you can do 6-inch, 12-inch, or 15-inch block. And I picked the layout that was 6-inch and 12-inch blocks. And so I do 3 6-inch and 1 12-inch each month. So I'm anxiously awaiting the next stitch to learn. So by the end, I will have a kind of sampler blanket, and I'm enjoying that. I'm quite enjoying that. The only thing I talked about, the interchangeable hook set I have. It just seems like there's a better way to do that, but I haven't thought of what it is yet, but maybe I will. That one is fun, and it's already in process. Technically, to learn more about knitting is too, because I've been figuring some things out. All right, so the last thing on my yarny things list is to make more sweaters. I have one fully knit sweater and one fully crocheted sweater. I have several crocheted cardigans or cocoon wrap things, but I want more like sweaters. I noticed last year I bought some more sweaters, but every single sweater I bought was burgundy. which is nothing wrong with that. I like that color, but I would like to have a bigger variety. I feel like I'm wearing the same sweater every time I wear it. And I just noticed since it's been so cold, I don't have that many sweaters that are like just something I would put on to wear around the house. That sounds, well, I don't generally wear sweaters around the house anyway, but I just want a bigger variety and I want more that I made. So that's why I put sweaters on this list. I've already started my first, well, I haven't started it yet, technically. I have the yarn wound and I have my color planned out for the sweater that I'm going to crochet. The first one I'm going to crochet. I'm not putting timelines on these because especially this one is a sock weight crocheted sweater, which I haven't ever done before. But I just want to make more. So we'll see how many I can get done in a year. I don't know how many I get done. I really wanted, that was something that I felt like I wanted more of in my crochet and knit world, or sweaters. So that's why it made the list. I really thought about these because sometimes I would think, well, I want to do this and this and this, but it's like, okay, I got to find something that kind of encompasses a good bit of this. So what you'll notice on my list too is that I have 2 learning things and one that's a specific type of make that I want to focus on. So, all right, so those are my 3 yarny things. Learn more about knitting, learn Tunisian crochet, and make more sweaters. We're going to move to DIY things. DIY for me, what I would put in my DIY category, sorry, because technically all this stuff is DIY, is stuff like painting and making things from scratch and yeah, those kind of things, and doing my scrapbooking and those kind of things that's what I put into the DIY category. Those sort of things that move beyond the fiber and fabric world, which sometimes gets incorporated into my DIY. The very first thing on my list is to learn more about baking, which some people may not consider that a DIY. I consider that a DIY because making your own food is the greatest form of DIY to me because I like to eat. So being able to make my food is a great thing to me. And I want to learn. I love to bake. I just have kind of done random things, learn new things and stuff. And I want to learn more about it. Currently my stove is not working. I do have a convection oven, but what I have been doing, I did this already this month. What is it? Sally's Baking. I'll put a link down below. She has a challenge each month of some kind of baking something. And I thought, well, that'll be fun to do. And I'm doing it with my mother because my mother loves to bake too. And I spend more time with her. So the first thing we made, because the challenge for January was ciabatta bread, which takes 14 hours to make. just be aware. And it's not a hard process. A lot of that time is resting, doing some flip stuff and resting. But I will say that the instructions were very specific and it turned out very well for my first time doing that, or me and my mother's first time doing that. It's a very simple recipe. It had bread flour, water, and well, we did put a little bit of salt and oil in the second part of it, but it's and yeast. That's what it was. Okay, basic, very basic, but it's a chewy kind of bread. But it turned out really good. There's none of it left. It got ate up real fast. I'm gonna tell you, but yes, I enjoyed the process. And I enjoyed spending the time with my mother. So learning more about baking is something I want to do this year, and I feel like having that challenge each month will help me accomplish that. She just put out her 2025 bucket list of baking things. There's 24 on there, I think. And I thought, well, maybe occasionally I might throw in 1 or 2 of those. We'll see what she's going to have for her challenges. Because the first one turned out pretty well. So I'm excited about that. Something I would make again. Um, like I said, it's not hard. It's just the reason it takes that long is all the rising and the need, that's the only reason it takes that long. All right, so the second thing on my DIY things is to learn about recovering furniture. I have done some furniture stuff. I've recovered dining room chair seats, just the seat part. I have a chair in there that I repainted and recovered the seat that I thrifted. I've recovered the cushion in a setting chair. Setting chair, is that what you want to say? Armchair? Armchair. I'll say that. Armchair. And I painted it. I dyed it, painted it. I did a whole blog post about that. But I have a chair currently sitting. It's one of the things sitting in my little foyer area out there. I paid a whole $7 for this chair, y'all. It's like this 70s green color. We'll call it that. And the only thing that was wrong with this chair is like on one of the arms, it had a little worn place. That was it. It was a comfy chair. It used to be in my living room. And then my dog, Miss Heffy Lou, who has passed away now, but when she was a pup, she chewed on the arm of that chair. We didn't realize she was, I think she must have done it when we weren't home or something. And so the entire arm is like the fabric gone and everything. It's like, and I debated and debated about it because I kind of liked the fabric on it, even though it was kind of vintage and an odd green color. But I debated on just getting rid of it because I'm not using it right now. It's just sitting there. Actually, my son's old gigantic teddy bear is sitting in it, which I need to take to a thrift store or somewhere and see if somebody won't take it. It's literally as big as him. My parents gave it to him when he was a kid, and he finally decided to let it go. It's just sitting in that chair. But anyway, I would like to actually recover the whole chair. Like, I know how to make a cover for the cushion, which is removable, but this has tufted, button-covered tufted things in the back of the chair, and I want to learn how to do that. I actually have a book about doing that. So yeah, that's something I want to do. That will have to wait till the weather warms up because I am not going to be out there doing those things when it's either super cold or super hot. So in the spring would be a good time. But I want to learn more about that. I think it's an interesting process, and it actually brings in fabric from, it involves some other things in it. All right, so the last thing on my DIY list is to make more art. And by that, I mean, I love to draw. I used to draw more. I haven't drawn anything in a long time, like art-wise, like just drawing. I want to do that more, and I want to paint more and use my watercolors more, all those things. And I'm just lumping that together and to make more art. I think all of these things are art, but this is specifically for me about the painting, the drawing, and the sketching, that sort of thing. That's what I'm referring to when I say make more art. I didn't know how else to word that because originally I had said I want to paint more, but I was like, well, I really want to draw and I really want to color more and I really want to use my watercolor pencil, that kind of thing. So I said, let's just say make more art, like in that realm. So I've already started my junk journaling this month. I'm enjoying that a lot. That's got to do more with paper crafting, but you can bring in the stamps and the paint and stuff. I haven't gone quite that far with it yet, but that's part of it too. So that in general is something I want to do, where it's just me learning how to utilize materials or not as a structured of a thing. Let's put it that way. Even though I have some paint by numbers and some other things I'm going to work on, I want to be doing it just to enjoy doing it. And so that's what I mean by make more art. All right. So a recap on my DIY things is learn more about baking, learn about recovering furniture, and make more art. All right, so that is all of my Make 9, and I'm gonna try to remember when I do this to maybe insert some little pictures of things while you watch this. Um, but yeah, those are the things that I want to focus on this year. I'd love to hear in the comments if you have a Make 9 that you would like to focus on this year, be it for a specific hobby or just some things you would like to learn about. I like this because it gives me a guideline when I'm deciding on what I want to work on each month. Am I working towards these goals? Am I working towards uh, things I want to learn this year? So that's why I'm going to hang it on my board across from my table so I can see it when I come in here and think about those things when I'm deciding what project I want to work on next. I'm excited about this month. This month, I think I have accomplished a great deal of what I had on my list. Of course, we have another whole week of this month. January and August are the longest months to me. They always seem to take forever, and I think it's because they are both the beginning months of the semesters for one, and for two, they are right there on the changes of seasons. January is our coldest month here, and everybody's getting tired of the cold by the end of January. And August is the end of our summers and usually our hottest month here. And so everybody's waiting for that cooler weather to come in. And I feel like that's probably why they seem like the longest months. I don't know. What is y'all's opinion on it? Do you have a month that seems longer? But those 2 months to me always seem like the longest months. So I'm gonna end it here and get back to some of my making. Y'all remember to have a life lived creatively, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.